Welcome to another edition of Handicap Born Black in America. I'm your host, Ramon Roan, being brought to you by Judicial Freedom Rights Incorporated. We are a non-profit organization, and our mission is to reform our justice system. You can support us by subscribing to this channel. The title of this video is The Lynching of Lennon Lacy in 2014. I often cite in my book that I first wrote, Handicap Born Black in America, that from 1880 to 1968, there are 4,742 lynchings, documented lynchings. And those lynchings, let's say 80% of those lynchings were African Americans or black people. And there are whites that are being lynched too, but mainly they're being lynched because they supported African Americans. Now, we would think that in 2014 we won't be hearing about lynching. But in August of this year, August 29th, the 17-year-old Lennon Lacy was found hanging. The police said that he had committed suicide. Now let me give you a little bit about what I read about the young man. Young man was a starting linebacker for his high school. His goal was, he already had his goal mapped out, and that's something about young boys and young kids today. I pray that you map out your goals. Where do you want to be? He had already determined that after high school, he's going to play 4 years in college, and then he's going to the NFL. That was his goal. Now, not many people that make goals like that and they commit suicide. Don't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. What also doesn't make any sense is that the very next day, his was the first game of the season. The very first game of the season. And he commits suicide. Let's look at the evidence that leads to that would be questionable about a suicide. One, he was found about a half a mile away from his home and hanging by the neck on a swing set. The undertaker, the funeral home, said that when they received his body, it looked like he was in a barroom fight. He had bruises on his head and on his shoulders. Okay. Here's another evidence. The boy wore size 12 shoes and had just bought a brand new pair of sneakers that he had on the night that the last person saw him was his father. And so he had those shoes on when his father saw him that night that he disappeared. Okay? When they found his body, he had a size 10 and a half pair of white shoes. Shoes he didn't own. It wasn't his. Besides that, he wore size 12. Those shoes were size 10 and a half. Now, the police investigation, they just immediately say this is a suicide. They don't say, well, they don't investigate the possibility that it was a lynching. Lynching. Murder. They do not do no DNA swab to see if there's other DNA that was on his body. They don't do that. And I believe it was around 3 days, they determined that it was a suicide. This young man left. There was no suicide note. He was not under any type of emotional distress. It wasn't like he everything seemed fine. You know, he was seen like a regular 17-year-old black boy. Okay? Now, let's throw this in here. The town is called Bladenboro, North Carolina. Okay, let me give you a little history on Bladenboro, North Carolina. According to the Guardian, Bladenboro is a town that has 80% white, 18% black. It is even called Crackertown by residents. About 86 people were hanged in Bladenboro between 1882 and 1968. Now, that sets the stage. Now, is there a racial component in this boy's lynching? Because I'm not going to call it suicide, but that's not what it is. Is there a racial component? Absolutely, there's a racial component. Well, let me throw this in here. The 17-year-old boy was dating a 31-year-old white woman in that community. Now, many of you think that we're a pro-racial society. Well, no, we're not. There's nothing about the United States that's pro-racial just because we have a black president. We're not post-racial. No, they were upset. I believe that they were upset about this black boy dating a white woman, not a white girl, a white woman, 31-year-old, because I believe the law in North Carolina for consent is the age of 16. Well, he's 17 years old. They're dating, and the fact she had no problem with him, and they were still dating at the time of his death. Correction, his murder. They're still dating. So I call upon an investigation by the FBI, because the local authorities in North Carolina will not and cannot do this investigation. You can't depend upon them to do this. Is a lynching. Where is Eric Holder? Why isn't the FBI involved in this? And the other thing, why isn't the national media picked this up? A lynching happened in 2014. Something needs to be done about it. And if Judicial Freedom Rising can do anything, we're going to talk about this again and again and again. This family needs justice, and there is no justice done here. This has been Handicapped Born Black in America. I'm your host. Please support us, as our mission is to reform our justice system by subscribing to our channel and liking and sharing our videos. May God bless you, and may God bless America.